All right, so we've been talking about surface area of 3D shapes. We've been talking about lateral surface area of 3D shapes. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to talk about surface area of composite figures. So this is kind of like whenever we found the area of composite figures, except now we're going to look at 3D composite figures, okay? But the same rules are going to apply. So surface area of a composite figure is the sum of all the areas of the external faces. So all the faces on the outside. So now, it says, what is the lateral surface area of the following figure? Well, this specific figure right here is not a composite figure. This is just a cone, but I want to make sure that we understand how to work with cones. Okay, so lateral surface area, that means that we are going to be looking for just the triangle part of this cone. Okay, well, before we can do that, I need to find this length right there. I need to find what's called my slant height. So we're going to go ahead and find that. And the way that we're going to find that is we're going to use Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to call that x, and we have x squared, because that's my hypotenuse, equals 10 squared plus 3 squared. Okay? So now we need to find that length. So x equals the square root of 10 squared plus 3 squared. So now let's go ahead and find that area. So when I plug that into my calculator, I got x equals 10.44, and there is no unit, so we just leave it at that, 10.44. Well, now we're going to treat this like it is a triangle. Okay, since we know that this is 10.44, we know that the height of my triangle is 10.44. Now what I need to do is I need to find the circumference of this circle. When I do that, that gives me the entire base for my circle. So the way we're going to do that is circumference equals 2 pi r. So we're going to do 2 pi times 3. So again, I'm going to plug that into my calculator, and I end up getting 18.84, really 85, as the circumference of that circle down at the bottom. And now that I have a base for my triangle, I have a height for my triangle, we're just going to do the area formula for a triangle. So base 18.85 times 10.44 divided by 2. So base times height divided by 2. So again, I'm going to plug that into my calculator. 18.85 times 10.44 divided by 2. That gives me the lateral surface area is 98.397. Okay? So that right there is the area of just the lateral face of a cone. Well, next, they want me to find the total surface area. Well, since I'm trying to find the total surface area, that includes both of my bases. Well, to find, first off, just the lateral area, what I've got to do is I need to find just the soup can label. Okay, I need to find out how much is just the soup can label. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the total circumference of this shape, or of the circle. So again, to find circumference, it's 2 pi r. So we have 2 pi times 4. So I'm going to plug that into my calculator, and I end up getting a circumference of 25.13 centimeters. Okay, now to find all of the green area, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 25.13, and I'm going to multiply it by 15. So when I do that, I end up getting the total lateral surface area is 376.99 centimeters squared. Okay, so this right here is my lateral surface area, but they asked for total area. So now what I need to do is I need to find the area of this shape, or of the circle right up at the top. So it's not letting me change the color, but I'll just do this right here. So we're trying to find the area of this circle and then the area of this circle right down here. So we're going to start off to find the area of a circle. We do pi r squared. My r is 4, so pi r squared. So again, I'm going to plug that into my calculator. So I get 50.27 centimeters squared. Well, that's just the area of one of my circles. So now I need to find the area of both circles. So I'm just going to multiply this by 2. When I do that, I end up getting 100.53 centimeters squared. So now I need to find the total area for this shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 376.99 and I'm going to add 100.53. So when I add those, I end up getting, so 376.99 plus 100.53, I end up getting 477.52 centimeters squared. Okay, I'm going to write that a little bit easier for you guys to see. So 477.52 centimeters squared is the entire surface area for that cylinder. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go on to more lateral surface area here. Well, on this one, they want us to find the lateral surface area for the following figure. So the way that we're going to work this is we need to find all of my faces except for this top face right here, this face on the inside right here, another top face right here, and then this bottom face right here. Okay, we are not looking, so we're not looking for those sides. So we need to find all of those 4 sides and all of those 4 sides. Okay, so the way that we're going to do this is we know that this length is 4 and this length is 4. So that means that this shape right here is a cube. The way that we can work this is I can do 4 times 4. That gives me 16. So that's just the area of one of my sides here. But I need to find 4 total sides. So now I'm going to take 16 and I'm going to multiply that by 4. So 16 times 4 gives me 64 meters squared. Okay, so that gives me this back side way back here, gives me this side over here, and it gives me the front side right here. So now I need to find the areas of this side, the back side way back here, this side, and the front side. So first things first, let's find the area of this side right here. So for us to do that, we know this length is 4 and we know the bottom length is 5. So I can just multiply those together. So we have 4 times 5 and that gives me 20. Well, this face right here is the same as this face way over here. So I have 2 of those, so I'm going to multiply that by 2 and that gives me 40 meters squared. Now finally, we've got to find one more set of sides here. So we have this one way out here in the back, and we have one that is up near the front. Okay, well, again, we still know that this side right here is 4, and now I know that the base right here is 8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 4 times 8, and that's going to give me 32. Well, I have 2 of those sides, so I'm going to multiply it by 2. So I take 32, multiply it by 2, and I get 64 meters squared. Now, all that we're going to do to finish this up is we're going to add up all of my sides. So I have 64 plus 40 plus 64, and that ends up giving me 168 meters squared. So this right here is my total lateral surface area for a composite figure. So let's go ahead and go on to the last question here. For this one, again, we're going to have to find the lateral surface area, or not the lateral surface area, the total surface area. Well, to find the total surface area here, we do have to get rid of this part down here, because that is an extra side when I combine both of these sides. So first things first, let's start with the easy stuff. We can find this base down here by doing 4 times 4. So we're going to go ahead and do 4 times 4, and that's going to give me 16 centimeters squared. That is this base down at the bottom of my shape. So now I need to find the area of all of these sides right here. All of the sides of this shape. Well, thankfully, this may not be a cube, but all of my heights are going to be 6 meters. So this one is going to be 4 times 6, which gives me 24 centimeters squared. But I have 4 of those sides, so I'm going to multiply by 4. So I do 24 times 4. This gives me 96 centimeters squared. So now we're almost done. All that's left to do is to come up with the area for all of these triangles up here at the top. So we know that all of the heights here are 5. We know all of the bases here are 4. So we're going to find the area of one of these triangles by doing base times height divided by 2. Well, we have 4 times 5, divide that by 2, gives me 10 centimeters squared. Well, since this is a rectangular pyramid, there are 4 of those triangles that are all the same. So I'm going to multiply that by 4, and that gives me 40 centimeters squared. So now I have the base of this shape, I have the sides of this shape, and I have the top of this shape. So all that I need to do is I'm going to find the total area by adding 16, 96, and 40. So when I add all those up, I get 16 plus 96 plus 40 gives me 152 centimeters squared, and that right there is my total surface area. Okay, if you have any questions, please come up and ask me. I'm hoping that we can get some things figured out. If you have any questions, please come up and ask me. Make sure that when you are working with a cone and a cylinder, to find the lateral surface area, you have to find the circumference and multiply by your height for a cone, or height for a pyramid, and you have to multiply by your slant height and then divide by 2 for a cone. And then make sure whenever you're trying to find the slant height, or whenever you're trying to find the total surface area of a composite figure, you do not include the 2 bases that are touching. Okay, go ahead and get started on your practice, and if you have any questions, please come up and ask me.